Shabbat Shalom. What? So it starts there and goes on to the next page. Shabbat Shalom. Good evening and welcome to the blessing of Sisterhood Shabbat. You don't get to hear a lot of me tonight, so I'm taking my moment to say it's wonderful to see everybody. We are using the Lev Shalem, as you saw in your email today, if you read the spiel. And we will begin with lighting of the Shabbat candles. Which can be found on page 4. Please rise. Amen. You may be seated on your holy Shabbat. May these candles be a sign of blessing, and may they allow the joy of Shabbat to rest upon us. And before we begin, so as you look at the Lev Shalem, just as a reminder, so on the right side is the Hebrew, which is the same Hebrew in all of our other prayer books. On the left side is the English. The biggest change is the addition of the red, which is the transliteration. So for those that Hebrew is less familiar, they can sing along. And on the far right is some commentary specifically on the prayers, and on the far left is some extra readings and poems and things like that. It's just like the Machzor we've been using for the last, 10 or 15 years or so, but it's bringing the Siddur into the same convention. So the choir is going to begin us tonight with Hava Nashira, and then we'll turn to the prayer book. We'll join them at the bottom of page 5 for Shalom Aleichem. Well, a good reminder, if anyone has anything that rings or buzzes or sings, it's a good time to shut it off. Better now than later. It's a great ringtone. So we'll turn to page 5 for Shalom Aleichem. So we'll continue with Yedid Nefesh. We'll turn to page 10.
Yedid Nefesh av harakaman. Yedid Nefesh av harakaman. Mishok avda. Eretz Mishok avda, Eretz ona, Yarutz avda, Kemoayar, Yishtachavei alai,
We'll continue on page 13. If you're at home, it's page 16. Right here, 13.
Shir Ladonai,
Shir Chadash, Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shir Ladonai,
Baruch Shemo,
Basru miyom leyom, Shuato, Saperu v'goyim kevodo, Bechol ha'amim niflotav, Ki gadol Adonai, U'molal me'od, Norahu, Al kol Elohim, Ki kol Elohei ha'amim elilim, V'Adonai shamayim asa, Od ve'hadar lefanav, Os ve'tiferet ve'migdal. berachot amim. Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz. Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo. Se'u mincha uvo lefasrot havayai. Ishtachavu l'Adonai b'chadrat kodesh. Hilu mipanav kol ha'aretz. Imru b'goyim Adonai malach. Chatzikon tevel ba'al timot. Yadin amim b'mesharim. Yismechu hashamayim b'tagel ha'aretz. Yiram hayam u'melo. Yalo sadai v'kol asher bo. Aziranu kol atzei lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel v'tzedek ve'amim be'emunato yadai 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 So we'll turn now to page 15 and 16 for the 97th Psalm. If you're at home, it's an extra page, page 17. We'll read together.
Adonai reigns. Let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice. Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besieges round about. Flashes of lightning illumine the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains smelt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth. The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and all the nations see the God's glory. Worshippers of idols be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God. Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful. Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name.
We'll turn now to Mizmor LeDavid. We'll rise, if we're able, page 21, and if you're at home, page 20.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz. Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo. Ishtachavu l'Adonai b'chadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod irim. Adonai al mayim ravim. Kol Adonai b'koach. Kol Adonai be'adar. Kol Adonai shover arazim. V'shaver Adonai et arzei halvanon. V'yarkidem kemo egel. Lebanon v'Sirion kemo v'neimim. Kol Adonai botesh kol Adonai yachil midbar yachil Adonai midbar kadesh kol Adonai cholel hayalon vayechesov ye'arot uvechalom kulo omer kavon Adonai lama v'yashav v'yeshev Adonai melech leolam Adonai oz le'amo yitzin Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom
You may be seated. We're going to turn now to Lecha Dodi. If you're at home, it's on 21. Here, this particular arrangement is doing the first, second, fifth, and ninth stanzas. Okay? So it's the first two on page 23. Then we're going to turn to 24. It's the middle one. Then we're going to turn to 25. It's the last one, and that's the one where we rise and face the entrance and welcome Shabbat as our bride. So the first two on 23, the middle one on 24, and the last one on 25. Are you confused yet? may be seated. Tov Lehodot, the song for Shabbat, page 27. At home, it's 23. The last of the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat can be found on page 29. We'll read in English. At home, it's 24.
Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned, you are eternal. The rivers rise up, Adonai. The rivers raise up their roar. The rivers raise up their waves. Above the roar of the vast sea and the majestic breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands supreme in the heavens. In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time.
So those observing a yahrzeit or in the time of mourning, Kaddish is found on page 30. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach krutei v'amlech machutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei techol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam olomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei d'kudsha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yalma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, huya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. When Hannah was a toddler and we met friends at a playground, us moms had a rule with the kids. They could play on any and all equipment that they felt they could utilize safely. If they climbed up, they should be able to climb down. If they wanted to swing, they either needed to take turns and push each other, or we would push them on the swings right before it was time to leave. We encouraged the children to use their voices to work through their problems. Obviously, they were still little kids, so we would ensure their safety and help them if they truly were stuck or hurt. One selfish reason for this was because this was very much a play date for us as it was for them. But it also fostered a sense of independence for them, encouraged them to be creative in utilizing the playground structure safely, and taught them to recognize boundaries for themselves and others. There were so many occasions when other parents would come up to us and ask, "Is that your child? They need help with," whatever it was. While we appreciated the heads up, it was not that we were ignoring our children, but that we were parenting differently than those other parents on the playground. In tomorrow's Parsha, we read the plagues. We have 3 key players, Moshe, God, and Pharaoh. Moshe and God are parental figures with 2 very different strategies to get their child, Pharaoh, to do what they want. Pharaoh's being a petulant child, insisting that it is his way or the highway. Moshe, however, is trying to plead his case. He's trying to do gentle parenting, trying to talk his way to encourage Pharaoh to make the right choice. God, however, is the harsher, stricter, whatever word you want to use, parent. Some may say bad cop, parent who gives threats and then follows through with those threats. When my kids were young and they came downstairs when they were supposed to be in bed, which sometimes still happens, we would start the 1, 2. I never quite made it to 3. I would look at Phil with a twinkle in my eye and say, I have no idea what happens if I ever made it to 3. But it worked. God has no way of knowing whether the threats, the plagues, will work. And just like in typical kid fashion, Pharaoh began by saying, okay, I'll do it, just to follow up with, just kidding. I imagine him as a cartoon character sticking his tongue out at Moshe like, nah, boo-boo, you can't control me. This isn't to say that Moshe isn't a good parent. Perhaps he's the new parent who has to learn the best strategies that work, while God has been doing this parenting thing for quite some time. Just a few weeks ago in Parshat Vayechi, Jacob, upon his deathbed, blessed his grandchildren Ephraim and Manasseh. Yisimcha Elohim ki Ephraim v'Manasseh. May you be like Ephraim and Manasseh. This line that we use to begin the blessing for boys on Shabbat and festival evenings. I spoke of the Birkat Yaladim, the blessing of the children, at the last Sisterhood board meeting. When researching, I found that some parents find solace in reciting this prayer to their children. It can be really exhausting being a parent. When the week has been long, filled with juggling school, homework, meals, caregiving, chauffeuring, extracurricular activities, and so much more, being able to be both a parent, being able for both parent and child to take a moment to appreciate each other. There are many times that I've messed up. Many times I've apologized for yelling, for losing my patience, for not paying attention. Yet, just like Moshe and God, we're really trying to do our best. So it's beautiful that we can take that time during the Birkat HaYaladim to appreciate the roles of both parent and child. And I hope that when it comes time for dinner, you're able to send your messages to your children wherever they are, even if they're not in the room, to be able to express your blessing for your children. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll turn now to the evening service. For the Baruch Hu, we'll rise on page 39A, and if you're at home, it's page 28.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch
You may be seated.
Please join me in the English on the bottom of 39A. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tsevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk.
We'll turn to Ahavat Olam on page 40.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah Mitzvot Ukim Mishpatim Otanu Limadetam Alken Adonai Eloheinu Shakveinu Uvkumeinu Nasiach V'chukecha V'nismach B'divrei Toratecha U'v'mitzvotecha Le'olam v'chen Ki hem hayenu Le'orech yameinu Le'orech yameinu U'vahem negeh Yomam v'layla Yomam v'layla
V'ahavtecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישורך.
והיה משמצותי אשר אנוכי מזבחכם לבביך. והיום אני משלם דבר על בני ישראל. אני ציציתי, תקנה פלילה, אני ציציתי, תרתם אותו, זכרתם אותו לנהי. תורו חריף ומרחם, יזכרו. אדוני אלוהיכם אמן. Turn to page 44 for Michamocha.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם. משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef lehem.
Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe zeli anu v'yamru
Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
B'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
We'll read Hashkivenu in English on page 45.
Please read along with me. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us.
Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us.
Shelter us in the shadow of your wings.
For you, God, watch over and deliver
us.
And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate.
Ensure our going and our coming for life and peace now and forever.
May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. We'll rise for Vishamru and the Chatzi Kaddish on page 46. It's 34 at home. And after the Vishamru and the Chatzi Kaddish, we'll take time for our personal prayer, the Shabbat Amidah, which is from pages 47 to 52.
Shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Shema Divara Kirite V'Yamlich Malchute B'chayechon Uv'yamechon Uv'chayedecha Beit Yisrael Bagala Uvizman Kariv Ve'emaru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Lo Me'omaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitroman V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shmei Kedusha Brichu Le'elam Min Kol Barachata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Damiran Bielma V'yamaru.
Take time for our silent prayer. Turn now to Vishamru on page 53. If you're at home, it's 47. Oh, sorry, Bayachulum. Got ahead of myself.
Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzivam vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melakto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i Mikol melachto asher asa Vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i Vayakadesh oto Kivo shavat mikol melachto Asher bara Elohim lasot Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Konei Shamayim va'aretz Magen Avot bidvaro Mechaye Metim B'mamaro Ha'el HaKadosh She'en Kamohu Hameniach Li'amo B'yom Shabbat Kadsho Ki Bam Ratza Le'aniach Lahem Ki Bam Ratza Le'aniach Lahem Lefanav Navod Be'yirav Afachad Menodeh Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid Me'on HaBrachot El HaHodaot Adon HaShalom Mekadesh HaShabbat Umvarech Shavi'i Umeniach B'kedusha La'amedu Shnei Oneg Zecher L'maaseh Bereshit. Our God and God of our ancestors, embrace our rest. Make us holy through your mitzvot, and let the Torah be our portion. Fill our lives with your goodness, and gladden us with your deliverance. Purify our hearts to serve you truly. Adonai, our God, lovingly and willingly grant that we inherit your holy Shabbat, that the people Israel who make your name holy may find rest on this day. Baruch atah Adonai, who makes Shabbat holy. Yikra v'yikra shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrah kirteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon v'mechon, v'chayei dechad be'Yisrael, b'gala v'zman karev v'yimmeru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olam me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalah shemei dekudesha. Ve'ela min kol barchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiron v'yalma v'yimmeru.
Amen.
Titkabal salotahon v'avutahon, techa Yisrael kadam avuhon di v'shmaya v'yimmeru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimmeru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimmeru. Amen.
We'll turn to the Kiddush on page 55.
Shabbat mikol malato shebara Elohim lahasot. Baruch atah Adonai
Amen.
We turn the page for Aleinu. Be seated. We remember Ruth Ackerman, Diana Dorothy Paris Breslov, William Hirsch, Morris Lipman, David Moed, Eileen Rishkis, Fanny Serkasey, Rebecca Werner, William Frey, Judith Hirsch, Jacob Lipman Jacobs, Henry Maller, Lorraine Leah Maller, Gertrude Goldberg, Eileen Goldblatt, Charles Shapiro, Deborah Stone, Bernard Cutzen, Dee Dolgoff, Adela Grenek, Ann Carpe, Ruth Levine, Fagel Lusky, Oscar Rothstein, Harry Lawrence Yogman, Seymour Apt, Anna Applefield, Charla Fogel, Jane Levine Sanders, Leon Isidore Silver, Helen Wortel, Sylvia Baum, Yetta Bunting, Harold Edelhock, Betty Faye Seidberg Elias, Michael Elias, Adele Green, Sarah Kersner, Gertrude Koch, Jack Mahana, Aga Stone, Stan Wadowski, Celia Frankel, Rabbi Nathan Goldberg, Dale Gosa, Max William Grief, George Gross, Irving Halprin, Stephen Kolitz, Isaac Levinson, and Miriam Timber. May their memories be a blessing. Kaddish is found on page 58.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Yoma divra pirote yom malchute v'chayahon uyom echon v'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael v'agala uvizman kariv yimaru amen. Ye'eh shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam umei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'rechu la'ela min kol v'chata v'shirata tush v'chata v'nekamata damiram v'yama v'yimru amen. Ye'esh lama Rabba min shemayim v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen. What a beautiful evening to hear from our Sisterhood choir. And the Sisterhood Shabbat will continue tomorrow morning with Shachrit. We have women leading us starting from 9 a.m. in Pesukei de Zimra. And we will also have on Sunday, the Debbie Friedman documentary and sing-along at 1:30 in the afternoon. So we have lots of joy this weekend. Of course, for those who RSVP'd, we'll be having dinner in the social hall in just a few minutes. I would also ask that when we finish the service, if you can take the Lev Shalem and put it back on the cart. And I would say if you have a comment that you would like to share with the ritual committee, you can send me an email and I'll share with them as well, your thoughts on this beautiful prayer book. So we'll turn now, we're going to jump a little bit to page 211 for Adon Olam. Page 211, and if you're at home, it's 54. Yasher Koach. Once again, Shabbat Shalom. And it's always wonderful to be here together.